Welcome to BroPartisan Hacks, where we look at stories and make stuff up. No.
We haven't made anything up.
I mean...
Well, you know, to a degree.
Some of it is like, hey, I did research on this like 3 years ago, so... But it's fine. It's fine. Today's top story we have...
So the title of this is funny. It says...
No. We gotta preface this with a little bit of background. So, recently, the Department of Health and Human Services, Department of Health and Human Services has started a harm reduction program. Harm reduction. And one of the stories that came out about this was that they were giving away free crack pipes. And they were spending $30 million to do it. Right? And it was... Obviously, the intent was not like, hey, we're going to give away free crack pipes, but it was like prevent the spread of AIDS and yada, yada, yada. They've even set up in some locations like safe injection sites as part of these programs and in specific areas that are mainly focused in like New York and Los Angeles, and San Francisco, you know, areas where I would expect them to have set something like that up. So what they can do is they let people come in, shoot up heroin or whatever other stuff they're doing, and basically make sure they don't die on them, right? And that's their intent here. So
which I think is a good idea, by the way. That's what they do in Amsterdam. And they have way less drug problems than we do.
Yeah.
They have facilities and you know a lot of Republicans.
So we can talk about the merits. Let's get to.
Okay, sorry.
Let's get to the thing. So you're jumping ahead, right? So this is just what's happening, right? So we're not gonna. This isn't the time to argue about whether it's right or wrong. This is happening, right? As part of this story, I've got pulled up here.
What website do you have that story on?
This particular story is Fox News, which is hilarious, right? Because they're saying like fact checkers go to war over this, blah blah blah. But further on down, it says, like, Jen Psaki, you know, White House spokesperson says, like, oh, this didn't happen. We're not actually going to do this. The grant specifically denotes smoking kits and supplies among equipment. So they're like, yeah, you're saying this, but everything's written out, and we think you're lying, right? So that's essentially what this story is saying.
Okay.
Here is the guy who's actually heading the department, this Health and Human Services Secretary, Xavier Becerra. Anyway, this guy. And the director of the National Drug Control Policy said the administration was focused on using our resources smartly to reduce harm and save lives. Accordingly, no federal funding will be used directly or through subsequent reimbursement of grantees to put pipes in safe smoking kits. So, of course, wording and everything else. So all of this is happening, right? This all happened last week. All this came out, and it was, you know, most people were like, whatever. Some people made a big deal out of it on social media. And so then your favorite crackpot...
That's good.
That was good. You like that? That was good.
I did. It was a nice
segue. Come up with this. The Hunter Act at a very blatant blow at Mr. President's son and his history. The Hunter Act to ban taxpayer funds for crack pipes. If you guessed
Lauren Boebert,
MGT, you would have been close, but it was Miss Lauren Boebert. MTG, Marjorie Taylor. Yeah, it wasn't her.
They're the same. So
they're banning $30 million program to stop this, quote, ridiculous proposal. I like the Hunter Act, she said in an interview, because it was a better acronym The acronym stands for what is it? Halting the Use of Narcotics Through Effective Recovery Act. Of course, they said, I want to call it the Hunter Act and just pick words that fit it, right? So it doesn't matter what they call it. They've already decided that, hey, we're going to call it this to make sure that everyone knows.
Did you read the paragraph below it? It says, I like the Hunter Act because it was better than the acronym Stop Paying to Subsidize Biden's Son's Drug Addiction Act.
That didn't really flow. She said this in an interview, right?
Yeah, like this says anything. That's why
this was live. Stop paying to subsidize Biden's son's drug addiction act. You can't really. That doesn't really flow. It doesn't have the same ring to it.
Do you really know why the people that really run Washington is K Street? You know why? Because people like this.
Like can't get anything through. Yeah. They're like, I'm gonna write a bill, and they're like, really? What is this?
I was thinking about this the other day. Like, who in the last 30 years is comparable to our forefathers, like the Thomas Jeffersons and the Alexander Hamiltons and the people that wrote these amazing literary works of art and philosophy and law? Is there anybody? No. They all work for more money on K Street.
I don't think that there has been anyone like that, and since.
I mean, you can make an argument for JFK. That's it.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't even do that.
I'm saying you can make an argument.
You can make an argument, but I would disagree with it. I mean, I could make an argument that, like, well, I'm not even going to. Never mind. It's dumb. But like that's kind of how I feel about it, right? So it's like I can't even make my own argument because it's so dumb to try and put a current individual on that same level, right? Yeah, no, there's no one like that. So instead, you get the Green New Deal proposal from like AOC, and as much as like we laughed about that, me being the right, and was like, oh, cow farts, ha 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 ha. People on the left are laughing at this, right? The Hunter Act, really, like you, saucy lady.
Yeah.
Like these are the bills that like they're proposing themselves and not coming through K Street, right? And the ones that come through K Street are monolithic, like giant tomes.
It's bananas. Like I
really liked. Was it? I forget who wrote it. Somebody had a proposal. I don't remember who did it, but they had proposed like you couldn't submit a bill longer than 25 pages or something like that, or like 30 pages.
I saw that, and actually, that I liked that too.
I really want that to happen.
Regular people could read it.
Yeah, it's like who's gonna sit down and read like 10,000 pages of healthcare bill? Nobody.
Me.
Nobody.
But even then, we didn't read 10,000 pages. I think it was 1,000 pages or 800 pages.
Yeah.
We read probably 30 pages.
Maybe 30, right? I like control F find the relevant section that I was interested in. How screwed am I going to get on my insurance? Okay, control F. And fines. Yeah, let's look at fines. All right, what's the enforcement policy on that? So, that was about it. So, I mean, we've got anyway.
Here's the thing, though. If the bill or the grant covers safe sex kits with condoms, fentanyl test strips, syringes, as well as safe smoking kits, like I don't I mean, you're inferring that means safe crack pipes, right?
I mean,
Or safe meth pipes.
I want to know how to apply for one, so I can just get it and see what's there, right? But I don't
get a
know.
crack pipe.
Yeah, well, I want a kit. I want to see what's in it, but I'm just more out of curiosity than anything else. Like, if I'm going to use it.
Well, maybe
I'm curious.
maybe it might not have crack pipe, but maybe it's got like a better filter or whatever.
Maybe a better filter.
You know what I mean?
Because you could make one of those out of anything, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, not we. I've seen things like use an apple, like you core an apple out.
Well, that's for weed though.
You can't do that with the other one. Does it get too hot?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See that?
Yeah. That's why
Well,
they're
then you
glass.
just use aluminum or whatever.
They use glass, like little glass straw-looking things. Aluminum they do with speed. I've been around the block a timer 1,000.
Yeah, well, I mean, you live in an area, right? So,
But
I definitely saw the glass
they
pipe.
use like a I forget what it's like, a Brillo pad kind of thing as a filter, and then you can get like really disgusting stuff, and that goes in there. I don't know. It's weird and disgusting, but I'm gonna go back to the merits of it because I do approve, but I approve also of the legalization of all drugs in the first place, and I approve of safe places as well as safe kids going to drug addicts. I know it's popular to talk shit on Hunter Biden, and that's cool, but like I was saying when you cut me off, is a lot of Republicans have issues with all of the crackies and addicts that are on the streets in San Francisco. Everybody wants to talk about all the needles everywhere, but then there was like, hey, let's do something about that, and you're like, no. I don't understand.
It's more like, are you going to do something about that at a federal level or at a state and local level where you should, right? And we talked about that as well.
Well, I mean, somebody's got to do something.
Sure, I don't disagree with that.
You can say, well, it shouldn't be a federal thing. I don't care who does it. Just do it.
I think if you want to establish,
but that's why I think
federal policy to do the things you're talking about as far as like legalization or whatever else, cool. But like the responsibilities for your street corners are yours, right? And I think that's where most of them came down.
I'm with that.
On so it's not necessarily that they said no. It's that you are blowing your budget, and you have no more money left to do this. So now you need federal funds. So you need to manage your budget better to better handle this situation. I don't think it had anything to do with no, we're not you don't need to do that. It was you don't need to use this pile of money to do that because this is a problem that you have exacerbated. You need to clean it up. You're responsible for this, which is kind of how I see drug use in and of itself. It's like you're responsible for this, and if you cannot do these things responsibly, then you probably shouldn't touch it.
The thing is I understand that, but if you want a free society, free societies should be free to do whatever they want to their bodies. I guess that's the libertarian part of my socialist libertarian beliefs.
Yeah, I get it, but where do you? So we have seatbelt laws because of insurance costs, right, and hospital costs, right?
Sure.
That's why seatbelt laws exist. It's not because they want you to wear a seatbelt. It's because they don't want you in the hospital jacked up from not wearing one, and then the whole county or region or whatever footing the bill for your being dumb and not putting on a seatbelt, right? That's why seatbelt laws exist. So, could you also expand that to drug laws? Like we are limiting the drug use as like a harm reduction because when people are addicted to certain substances, they can become violent to get more of the substance. I don't know. Like, I'm just thinking out loud here, right? Is that the real reason, or is it just was it from the Reagan area, the war on drugs, and we're just gonna I need a bad guy to shake my fist at.
I think it's part of it.
We've just been there since then.
I think that's part of it. I think the law enforcement lobby is pretty strong, and they're the ones that push back most of the time on any drug reform, or drug policy reform.
I think
because there's a lot of money involved with the DEA, with the narcotics departments and all that stuff, and narcotics departments in the police departments, you know what I mean? And so, like, there's a lot of money involved in that, and a lot of jobs.
I mean, wasn't it like 2 years ago that a lot of the cartels were getting into avocados and not, like, getting away from, like, coca beans? Like, growing it because the money was better? So, I mean, financially, I think that, like you said, would be the best plan of attack. Of course, now, like, you get, like, the... I forget what the different cartels are. I remember seeing a map, and so you had like different cartels controlled different areas along the southern border, and they're kind of broken up regionally. Where you have like the Northeast Cartel, which is kind of over here near Brownsville, and then there's one over by Tijuana near, the California area, and they do different things, right? So like one focuses on like drugs, these guys focus on human trafficking, and then there's the guys in the middle that do a little bit of everything or something like that, right? So you're only going to affect like one group of that. And so there's a power balance as well if we start messing with that. It could destabilize. I mean, I wouldn't be necessarily upset about destabilizing their whole operation. I think that would be a good thing.
But those guys are so powerful. Like,
right. I mean, it would literally take the military invasion to deal with that. That's how strong they are. Like, you're not going to do it through half measures.
No.
There's so many of them. They're so well armed. They're so well funded. Nothing
because
short of because we have funded them for the last 40 years.
Americans are going to get their drugs.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. Americans are going to get their drugs. They're going to figure out a way to get whatever it is that they want, and there's really nothing you can do to stop it. I mean, at the end of the day, which I say a lot. I mean. I'm trying to cut down on that, but I use that phrase a lot. But what I read a book a long time ago that was like, say yes or something like that, and it was talking about how you can put whatever laws, whatever restrictions, whatever you want to do, but if somebody wants to do something, they're gonna find a way to do it. They're gonna find a way to do the drug. They're gonna find a way to let loose. And if they can't find the drug, they're gonna make a new drug. Like, that's how we keep getting new drugs. They keep having new things.
Well, most of them come from hospitals.
Somebody's gonna make a way to get high.
Yeah, most new ones come from hospitals. Or they're like, hey, this ketamine was great. This fentanyl was great. Like, that's how fentanyl came about, right? It was a hospital drug initially.
Yeah, it's not great, and
it's dirt cheap, and it's.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but back to this. I don't. The issue that I have here, believe it or not, is I think you should lean into it instead of being like, "Oh, that's not in there," and being scared of that fucking conversation. Is dive headfirst into it.
Say for the White House to do that, just like we're here, this is what
quit being scared. This is what we're doing.
Instead,
this is why you have a 16% or 11% approval rating, because you're scared.
They were never part of the kit. It was inaccurate reporting, and everyone's like, "Yeah, we don't believe you."
Well, that's what I'm saying. just even if it's not, put it in there, and then say, "Yeah, this is."
Hey, that's a good idea.
This is why. Yeah, like liberals do this shit all the time. They 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 get some pushback from the Republicans, and they're like, "Oh, what? No, go further left." Like, Republicans aren't gonna like whatever you do any motherfucking way. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you propose. It doesn't matter what comes through on the budget. It doesn't matter. Republicans are going to oppose it. That's their job. That is, Mitch McConnell has set that up. It does not matter. They're not going to side with you on anything. So just lean into it. And then you'll galvanize your base that wants those things, and maybe people will fucking vote for you.
18%.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I love that number.
But I mean, I watch these interviews and I watch shit like this all the time where they're just like, they just fucking start mealy mouthing instead of just leaning into it.
Well, that's kind of what these guys are saying. This drug policy alliance, down here at the bottom. I hit a button. This drug policy alliance said the decision to remove those pipes from kits is deeply disappointing. This is a missed opportunity to be preventatives of more deaths due to overdose. I mean, I don't know. A pipe in of itself isn't going to prevent overdose if you've overloaded the pipe, but sure. Maybe
when I was talking about those filters, maybe that does something. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how. I don't know the science of crack.
Never looked into it, you know.
But I'm just saying, like, maybe something in those could prevent an overdose.
Definitely in my riskier days, even then, I was like, no. Hey,
I'll admit I've tried just about everything once, with the exception of heroin and fentanyl. I never did fentanyl.
Well, it wasn't really a thing when we were younger.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that wasn't until like the 2008 and up. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was well past.
Yeah.
All that craziness.
I need to be an adult. So anyway, that's the story. There's the Hunter Act. There's this going on. I think it's hilarious, and don't care one way or the other. I just thought it was funny and wanted to laugh at it. So that's my story.
Yeah. Like I said, it's another opportunity missed. Like that dude said, that's real. I agree with him. It's an opportunity missed. It's an opportunity for a conversation. It's an opportunity to engage. Because everybody, regardless of what state you live in, what your political beliefs is, every person in America has been touched by drug addicts. In some way, it has affected your life, and there's someone somewhere that you're like, I wish they could get some help. Now, maybe a drug facility where you go to take drugs isn't that place, but maybe if they go in there, there's some drug prevention paperwork that they're like, they look in and they see the room full of, people in a daze, and they think to themselves, this sucks, I need to get help. And then boom, there's somewhere to get help. Or they wake up from their haze and they're like, this sucks, I just shit myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe there's a way to get these folks help, and I think that's the way to go, honestly, because the shit will ruin your life.
Oh yeah, and for people at that point, it already has, right? And so at that point, it's like you just have to realize that you need to start picking up the pieces. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, heck, I've come off of a 3-day drunk and been like, this is ridiculous. I've got to stop this crap. like legitimately, and just been like, I am in no fucking condition to like do anything.
Yeah.
And then Monday morning rolls around and I go back to work, right? And it's just like, oh my God, I've wasted the entire weekend. What am I doing? Didn't do anything. Like, this is not a functional lifestyle. And so I had to, like, get to that point, realize it, and it's like, okay, I gotta stop. It's done.
Yeah. Well, and then for drug addicts, it's tough because, you know, one of the things that makes nicotine and tobacco so difficult to quit is the availability. You know what I mean? Yeah. And when you have that kind of availability, it's harder to just say, you know, because you can walk into any gas station within 2-mile radius and you can get tobacco.
Yeah.
And so for drug addicts, you have to change everything. You have to, you know, change your phone number, change your address, make sure the people that you've done drugs with don't have a way to contact you. There's steps that you have to take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And like cutting out your friend circle is hard because those are your friends.
It's really hard.
Those are your people, right? And so,
y'all been through things together, but you have to. That's the only way. Well, it might not be the only way, but that's the only way that I would know of. Is cutting that out of your life completely. Move, change your phone number, make it so people can't find you, and offer you drugs. So I say all that to say, like, I think this is good. I think they should do it. And,
you think they should?
And Lauren Boebert is a slap. She's
hilarious. I think she's hilarious.
Honestly, it is funny to take it that direction, you know, but like, because I'm sure Biden had nothing to do with any of this.
No.
Right?
No, absolutely not.
Biden doesn't control grants. But it's a nice way for her to take a nice
remember this, guys? And then we're going to put his picture on the marketing advertising holding the pipe in his mouth.
Yeah. All
right,
I get it.
That's all I had for this one, man.
All right, well, let's end this clip.
All right.
Thank you for watching this episode of BroPartisan Hacks with Reese and Rob. We really, really appreciate you watching, tuning in. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to us. We're putting out content as often as we can. Share it with your friends. Get it out there. Get our names out there. Also, hit that bell, tap that bell right there so that you can get updated when we put out a new video. Rob and I are trying to pump these videos out as often as we can. However, we both have day jobs, we have families, so our schedules have to line up so that we can make a new video. Speaking of our day jobs, our opinions and views expressed are our own and in no way represent those of our respective employers. Thank you. Thanks again for watching.